Bannister, we grew up out there on a reserve, about 14 k's out. Oh, it was good out there. Everyone could go to school. If you stayed home, you had to do all the chores. Girls had to do all the women's work, and boys had to go and help out on the farm, doing all the farm work. So everyone loved coming to school. And grandfather was one of the first initiated men around this area. He was initiated at Mount Wells, Quabbling Ground out there, ceremonial ground. My grandfather, he ruled the place out there. All the men helped to build all the shacks up the creek there. Growing up on a farm out there, we didn't get up about 5 o'clock in the morning and go and milk the cows. We'd have to run across the paddock, icy cold paddock with bare feet. After school, when we got back home, get into the work clothes, go to do the hay carting or to help out in the sheds. There was always something to do. I signed over to my uncle. He stayed about 5 k's away from the reserve on another farm he was managing, to catch the bus in from there, along with all the mission kids. Because once they finished grade 7 at mission, they'd come in here and do their high school. Because they had different school uniforms. They had their own school uniform, and we had the Boddington school uniform on. They all kept together. Good staying out there because of stolen generation in them days. People where we stayed, he was a JP, Industrial Peace, so he wouldn't let the welfare or the police come in there and take the kids away, put them in a mission. So that was one good thing about the area. Some of the kids used to run away and run to Bannister there to my grandfather and grandmother's house. People would be sitting outside and they could see these white things coming through the bush, and that was the stolen generation kids running back home there. They used to have the white t-shirt on and the shorts. Run about 35 k's or something to get to Bannister. Some of the kids didn't even know their families when they ran away. They didn't know where to go. They just run home to grandmothers and grandfathers. There's one case out there where the children ran away from the mission and went back to their father's and mother's place, but they were the drink and that. They had nowhere to live, so they ran away and ran back to the mission. Really? Couldn't cope with that life. In the old days, when the missionaries came in, we were the first sort of people to lose the language and that, and wasn't allowed to do the ceremonial stuff. Well, people who lived close to the coastline, they were the first ones to get their, cultural things banned from the reserves, and they weren't allowed to speak the language or do the ceremonial dances or anything. So. But in central Australia and around that area, they still carry that on too. Yeah. But close to the coastline, that was all wiped out. It was only a few years back now that I was told there was a massacre down behind the town here. I don't know, it's first settlers, I suppose. Probably killed the old people and the young ones who couldn't make it out back into the bush, safe to the campsite. And this river was very important to the Aboriginal people because they got their food from the river. You had your fish, your turtles, cobblers, the marrons, juggies, the miniature marrons. There was something there, freshwater mussel shells they used to do there. This was just a meeting place along the river. You got about every 5 k's you got stretches of water like this, where they just sat down every 5 k's or something, the rest of the old people and the kids, I suppose. In the river there, they used to have these freshwater mussel shells, shaped like teardrop. We come across them walking around in the hills and that. That's how far they carried, about 5 k's up. Or you walk along the river banks, you'll find them, still in big heaps. You'll find a lot of artefacts and that laying around, and places where they sat down and made their tools. See all the chipped rock laying all that. In schools they teach in Vietnamese now to all these local kids and everything. What's good is that to them when they won't even leave Australia, I suppose. So I'd like to see the Aboriginal language being taught back in schools and that. Even if we can't remember the stories, we could still have them there for the next generation. So. Mooley man, yeah, the story goes that one of our ancestors was on the other side of the river there, and he got attacked by a pack of wild dogs. So he jumped in the river to try to swim across this side. The dogs jumped in behind him and they ripped his nose from his face. And there's a rock out, about 5 k's out of here. It's known to white people as Castle Rock, but to the old Aboriginal people it was known as the Mull of the man, the nose. Now over the years the pronunciation changes to plain Mooley man. And when the ancestor made it across to the other bank on this side of the river, the dogs attacked him again and ripped his limbs from his body. And Mara is the name for the hand. For the little place outside of town here called Marradong. And one of the hands is coming outside the hill out there, the red hill. The other Mara is laying on the old Marradong Road out there, the shape of the palm of your hand. There's another rock coming out the side of it like a big thumb. And in the middle of that is a water roll that's been ground out. And the leg part they dragged right down to Quindanning, about 35 k's from here. The foot part is known as the Ginner. And the first settlers must have been told the story by their ancestors, or they named their farm the Ginner Martin there. Yeah, right. Still called that today. That Mooley man has got some water rolls out here. Some of them are sacred women's water rolls. I understand the ones out here is where the women gave birth, because there's a fresh water hole right there in the rocks and fresh running water. I understand they gave birth there on them rocks. When you go up west, you walk through country there, you always get feeling on the back of your neck, your hair stick up and you get goosebumps. Richard knows. You know that something's around then.